everyone out there knows, I mean, I fit in this country a lot better than I do when I go back home.
Meet Snow, who is a former US military diplomat who's been living in Malaysia for 17 years and has an incredibly unique and interesting perspective on Malaysia. And he's going to share his experience on living in this beautiful country. So I can't wait for you to tune in and listen to his stories. You've been in Malaysia for 17 years. I don't think I know anyone personally, any expat that lived in Malaysia for so long, longer than me. And you're stealing my title because usually I'm the one showing off that I'm the longest living expat in KL. But well, you won. So tell me, how did you end up in Malaysia? And more importantly, what keeps you here for so many years?
Wow, I get that. You put it that way. It makes me, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm excited, but then 17 years, yeah, I think that's starting to be a long time. I think it's going to be a long time. But it doesn't feel like that because I've had a fantastic time this entire time. What brought me here is originally my work. I was a diplomat, military diplomat at the U.S. Embassy. So I worked at U.S. embassies across the globe, in Afghanistan, in Bangladesh. And then also I finished up here at the embassy in Malaysia. So that's what brought me here in 2009. Before I retired in 2013 from all of that, but I met my wife, which you met, Claire, when we met for the first time. The year before I retired, I met her. And so in 2012. So I retired in 2013. Malaysia is fantastic, as everyone here knows. It's wonderful. So I just stayed and continued to live the dream.
But before you met Claire, who is such a lovely Malaysian lady, were you thinking of going back to the US, or were you already looking for the reasons to stay?
I was actually panicked when I was making my decisions to retire, because after traveling abroad for a long time, 24 years, I've been moving around the world. I didn't know where I wanted to live, but I knew it wasn't the U.S.
So it meant to be, basically.
It was meant to be, yes.
Do you remember the moment that you felt like at home in Malaysia, but not from the perspective of, okay, I'm living here, but from the perspective of, I belong here?
Oh, that's a great question. I have to say that, of course, I felt that way, but I felt that way for a long time. I don't know. You know, Malaysia is such a welcoming country. And I do know that my personality is a bit much for the typical Malaysian. And so we had to kind of grow into that. But I've been so used to that everywhere I go. I'm not a small guy. I'm not a thin guy. And I will always address you. I'll always come up and talk to you. Which is not the typical thing here in Malaysia to do, especially with foreigners. People have a tendency to shy away from, and then to be so big and scary.
You're not scary, but I know what you mean.
I don't think so. But the moment that I felt like I belonged here, I think that it was my first full year here. I needed to escape the city, and so I called my taxi guy. Back then we had taxi guys, we didn't have Grabs. I called my taxi guy. I've done this routinely, and I tell the taxi guy to send me to the airport. I go to the airport, and I tell the ticketing agency, put me on the airport, give me the next ticket to an island. Now, where do you want to go? I want to go to an island and return. This is Friday, and return me on Sunday. Well, but you have a ticket? No, miss, you have tickets inside the system here. I want you just to book me to a flight to any island, the next flight to an island, book me on that.
Within Malaysia, or no criteria?
No criteria, but they sent me to Terengganu, to send me to Redang, which, lo and behold, that's where my wife is from. Actually, it's not where we met, but that's where we're from. So when I went to Terengganu, sight unseen, not knowing where I'm going, that's where I said, oh, this feels right. Yes.
But how your relationship with Malaysia changed over all those years that you've been here?
Oh my God, my relationship with Malaysia has been changing, just growing stronger and stronger and stronger every day I'm here. I can't get over how wonderful the country is. And I made a conscious decision to not adjust too much of my personality to fit in the box of what is Malaysia, but instead to let it come out piece by piece to where Malaysia can more accept me, and we can work kind of together in that space. Again, I know it's not customary for me to come up and just speak openly to anyone, but also I'm a friendly, open, jovial kind of guy. I do this thing where I kind of bark routinely.
Bark?
Yeah, I mean, this is a place inside, so I won't do it necessarily here, but everyone out there knows that's my inside voice. Everyone knows around these streets here, if I do this on the streets of KL, very loud, people from around, they'll start barking, or they'll say, oh shit, snow is here, and they'll come over to see me. It's a long-standing tradition of my military roots. It came over from there. I extended it here. So back in my young, youthful partying days around this town, all the different club scenes, all the best club scenes, when I walk in, they'll do that.
Oh, and that tradition is maintained till today.
I maintain a lot of traditions that I picked up in my military career over the years. Like, and we won't go into details, but I still carry around a coin, which is just a RMO, a round metal object, or it's a unit coin, but it just kind of shows you what unit.
Can we show it to the camera, or is it too personal?
No, it's not. This one here is not particularly military, but it is one of the coins. I have these for all different companies and groups that I work for. This one is from Orlando, Florida, the National Entrepreneurship Center, which I made a conscious decision to become an entrepreneur, and I started to carry that coin instead of my previous military coins.
Was there any part of Malaysian culture that challenged you?
Oh man, a lot. Challenged so much to the point where I just recently just started to submit. And when I submit to those challenges, the country got even better. I'll give you a good example. I used to suffer from road rage. Road rage. You know, the guy driving the car is shouting. The car's driving aggressive, cutting you off.
That was you.
I'm still an aggressive driver, but amp up aggressive driver with road rage, and those are terrible combinations. So where physical altercations can happen. And so I was the guy in the car where if you cut me off, then I would quickly cut you off, or sometimes T-bone my car in the middle of the street. I turn my car in the middle of Tunerzak just to have a conversation with you because I'm now angry. And so Malaysia has taught me how to be patient when it comes to this. I used to say that Malaysians are terrible drivers. But there's something that I realized after a while being here is that you're from Europe. So I've experienced this in Europe also. Americans, we have this personal space bubble. You can't encroach this personal space, whether we're in the queue at the grocery store and the coffee shop, but we have a personal space. You can't get up close like this.
Right.
So you sitting like this used to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is close. Okay. Everything for the recording quality.
But what I've learned is that Malaysia, in Southeast Asia and Malaysia in particular, that personal space bubble is even smaller. Where people will just walk up to you, brush shoulders with you, not knowing you, just to do whatever business. And that's not appropriate for us. But I've learned that they extend that same type of mentality to their vehicles. So when they're driving their cars, they'll encroach you very close. It's not with intent or malice. They're just moving about. I figured out today, I think it might be 3 inches. 3 inches is the acceptable time to get close to your car before some words can fly. I had an incident that made me wake up from that because I am an aggressive driver, or was an aggressive driver, and I did suffer from road rage. By suffer, I don't mean people would come at me. I would come at people. This lady was just moving her car around, trying to get around, or maybe she really or maybe he had an emergency. They don't do these things with intent or malice. I sincerely 1,000 times apologize. I was that guy. if you see the guys get out of the car shouting at someone, oh my God, that was me. And I didn't realize that was me for many, 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 many years. And it was so refreshing. I think you interviewed a friend of mine, Mari. I met Mari, and through his work, helped me to really kind of reprogram and just kind of slow down.
Or even realize, right, those things, because the inside of the bottle, in our perspective, it's never as clear as someone from the external environment to pinpoint and maybe shaken up. Because when we do something for an extended period of time, we just take it as a default, as it is. We don't challenge it, we don't question it.
Yeah, I know that I've done it. I know that I do it. I didn't understand why and the control for it. And I've only recently decided that I am going to seek help for my PTSD. My wife has been telling me I should try to do it, and I've been trying to tackle it on my own for a long time. A couple of years ago, I told my wife, I acknowledged to my wife that, yeah, I suppose I do have it. And then I'm now ready to start seeking some type of treatment.
Oh, wow, good on you. Yeah, your experience, I'm sure, exposed you to a lot of traumatic situations. Congratulations on going on that journey, because I'm sure it's not easy and it's a lot of personal work, which is uncomfortable. What about your values that you grew up with in America? How did they change, or how did they reshape in Malaysia?
Oh, that's another interesting question. I grew up in a humble environment, Joliet, Illinois. Shout out Joliet. I grew up relatively poor. Not relatively poor. We were poor. But it's interesting that when you grow up in a kind of impoverished town or impoverished upbringing, and everyone around you is poor, you don't necessarily kind of realize that you're poor, because there's always someone that has less than you. In terms of value, my mom instilled the basic principles: do unto others as you will have do unto you. Don't steal. Treat women with respect. So those things hasn't changed,
and are aligned with the culture here, right? So
yes. So my values growing up in my hometown, they're on par or fit some of the values that Malaysians traditionally push forward. It might be the Chinese Hinduism, it might be the Malays Islam, but that all those the foundations of those values, they're rooted in what me and my generation and my community grew up with.
Those are the human values, right, that we should have, and whoever is growing up with them is privileged in that sense, for sure. So you mentioned that you calm down as aggressive driver. Now you've learned from Malaysia to be more patient and control those emotions. Anything else that Malaysia influenced you with? Positive, negative, or just some changes that you've noticed in yourself?
I didn't know that I was a foodie. Okay, so I saw some of your content before, so I was like, oh my goodness, I'm happy that she's inviting me on her show. I did enjoy street meat around the world, but the whole concept of eating here in Malaysia, it's a communal moment that's it's about way more than just the dish that you're eating.
Absolutely.
Even though the dish you're eating is phenomenal, what's more phenomenal is who you're doing it around and how it comes to be, because it's a production. As you know, finding some place to eat with the group, it is a production in it of itself.
The meal, it's an opportunity to connect, to spend it with the people you want to be around, and that's such a beautiful value. So talking a little bit about your massive exposure to Malaysia, working in the US Embassy. What do you notice about Malaysia and Malaysians that they might not realize?
So, another fantastic question. I've met all elements of Malaysians, professional diplomats, down to I've got people running the streets doing different things. What I come to realize is that, and this is something my wife and I have a conversation on, or a debate on, not a debate, a conversation on, is that you know the phrase, the grass is
greener on the other side.
Okay, so I don't know that the majority of Malaysians recognize how wonderful their country is. That's one thing. And another thing is, as an American, I speak one language. Oh, je parle français un petit peu aussi, but
Ah oui? I don't.
I speak only one language. And when I get around Malaysians, they're multilingual, but they're always hesitant or shy to speak English, or they're shy to speak to me because they think their English is not that good.
It's the humble side of Malaysians.
Yes. So your English is far better than my Bahasa Melayu. So
Shall we test it?
so there's no reason for you to be shy. You should I should be the one to be shy to talk to you. So that's one thing I recognize. And no, don't test my Bahasa Melayu, because my audience is now saying, hey, you've been for 17 tahun. Why can you speak Bahasa more better?
But to be very, very honest, in KL, it's quite difficult because everyone speaks English so much.
you.
I'm not excusing us, because
Thank you.
whoever is criticizing and judging us for not speaking Malay, they are right.
They're right. Yeah,
I think we
100%.
should put that
100%, yes.
effort. But I think it's also just a little bit of the credit to us that it is quite tricky, because the language you have to practice on a daily basis. And I'm sure there are some people that come to Malaysia and learn it within a year if they are around Malaysians that speak Malay on a daily basis. Every company that I've worked with, the normal language that was used was always English.
Yes.
Any Grab, they always speak to you in English. Yeah, that just sounds like an excuse. Okay, we should learn.
It is an excuse. We should learn. But my first few years here, when I try it, I will butcher up so badly that the Malaysian would just say, "No, man, just speak English."
Yeah, I do that too, because now sometimes what I do to practice, I talk to the Grab drivers, and I love that because they don't see me. I sit on the back, so I don't have that malu malu kucing. Do you know malu malu kucing? It's a shy kitten. So it's like an idiom for like when you are very shy or timid. So you see, you learn bahasa now. Malu malu kucing.
Malu malu kucing.
In the driver, it's in front of you, doesn't look at you, so you don't feel intimidated or shy speaking. So I try to sweat my Malay and practice my Malay. But after a few minutes, when they see me struggling completely, they just want to be nice, and they just switch to English. So I stop embarrassing myself. But conclusion is we still should learn.
Yes, absolutely.
But we are not going anywhere, right? So we still have many, many years here, so we have time.
I'm moving into this category where I'm getting older, and so I'm not sure if I'm going in that category of old dog, new tricks syndrome. And I'm getting really, 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 really lazy.
It's the weather.
So yeah, moving on the weather.
But you said that Malaysians don't realize how wonderful the country is, which I absolutely agree. But what does it really mean? Like, give me the most wonderful things about Malaysia.
Okay, so I hope that didn't come across as an insult or a diss. Of course, Malaysians, they know full well what they have here. But one thing is, Malaysians here in Kuala Lumpur specifically, this is a travel hub. And so they can travel literally anywhere in the world right from this spot. And as a result of that, this is a multicultural city, multinational city. They can experience individuals from around the world right here in this spot right here, right? That's one thing. They have so many. Well, I think they do recognize they have so many natural resources here, things of that nature. I imagine that they know how great their healthcare is. Maybe not, but their healthcare compared to other countries is on par with every first world development country. The cost of it, I'm not I don't do shock content, but I might start poking the eye in my country about the healthcare, and all of my American friends back at home. I think we're going to start politicking about, if you're not receiving government funded healthcare, this is a huge, huge, huge problem.
Absolutely.
Um,
And I think you take it for granted until you realize that you don't have it, or you realize that other countries don't have that privilege.
the way this country runs with the three major different ethnic groups and a few others, but it works very, very well. From my perspective, it works very, very well.
Yeah.
And so, of course, everyone has their opinions about whatever parties that what they're aligned with, but in terms of functionality and what you have here, I mean, look at it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And not just here, even in the rural areas, it's absolutely wonderful. I wear a sarong within 45 seconds of getting inside my house. All this comes off, I put the sarong on, and I get my best sleep up in Teletrangarno. Yeah, so it's those three things.
Oh, wow. You've been here in Malaysia through a lot of shifts, political, cultural, economical. What is the biggest one change that surprised you?
I've seen a lot of changes in this country, from the financial crisis in the U.S. that's extended out to everywhere in the world, the oil and gas crisis that the oil barrels prices going down, the what's it called, the 1MBD scandal, the
1MDB, yeah.
And of course COVID. So the one thing I would focus on without that either shocked me or I want to comment on is, again, it goes back to this government, the resiliency of this government to just rebound and continue forward. You know, they handled, or you were here, we handled the COVID crisis amazingly. It was a bit difficult, obviously, to take for everyone, because we lost lives, lost livelihoods. That was a very tough time, but I was amazed at how quickly things were implemented.
Rolled out
so fast, and businesses were able to pivot just as well. Hell, that's where I learned about the pivot. Is during the COVID, and here where businesses, entrepreneurs were showcasing how they shift. So big up to the Malaysians and the government here for rolling on. And now this place is thriving. You see tourism is back. You see the smiles of the Malaysian faces on the streets. It's wonderful.
So with all that experience that you have in Malaysia, you would be probably one of the best people to describe it.
Oh, I don't know.
If you would have to describe Malaysia to someone that has no clue about the country, and you cannot talk about food,
okay,
how would you explain what is Malaysia all about?
Oh my God! So I have an answer for this question, because I've been queuing this up. I've been shaping this for a while now. This specific question: how do we describe it to someone? In this new area that I'm going down, affordable luxury. Now I know that's not the typical response from Malaysia, but
it's not.
But guess what, guys? The world don't know that, right? The world thinks whatever they think of Malaysia is what they think. Now I will tell you this: we in the West, in particular the ignorant traveling Americans, we have a picture of Malaysia, and I'm not sure if you heard this before, but some people would have say that, and before you judge, just hear me out. Some people will say that Malaysians live in trees. Okay, you've heard these stereotypes before, and now let me try to tell you why that is. I will tell you what Malaysia doesn't do well, and that is promote commercially their product as their brand as a product, as a country, to perhaps the West. Maybe that's by design, but when we were kids, I'm an old guy, so when we were kids, that guy David Attenborough,
yes,
okay, his voice is talking about Malaysia when we were kids, and they were talking about over in East Malaysia, the tribes doing the frog, the headhunters, the blow dart guys. Those tribes with the back of the frog tapping their darts on the frog's back, making poison darts, and they're using darts to shoot
as a weapon.
Right? And so this was continuing when we were kids. This was Malaysia. The village, the village or the tribe in Malaysia. There still are indigenous tribes living in the jungles of East Malaysia. So okay, so they have all that. That's our image of Malaysia, right?
Mm.
It was before the Twin Towers and the entrapments. It was before all that. So that's what we knew about Malaysia. And I would say likewise for you guys out there, Malaysia, what's your image of a Chicago city? Certainly it's gangs, it's violence.
Oh, mine was jazz bar and Polish people.
So those are the images. But the U.S. we have so many different movies that exported that American culture, and Malaysia don't have too many that export to the U.S. Except for this one thing. I'm not excusing those ignorant individuals who think that this is Malaysia. That's why I'm saying to people when they first come over here, when my clients first come over here to visit for whatever reason, they are blown away.
Yeah.
As I was when I first came in 2009. So how do I describe Malaysia? How am I describing it going forward? Affordable luxury.
And that's amazing. And yeah, it's interesting that you said that maybe it's by design, but I know that there's this notion that Malaysia likes to keep Malaysia as a hidden gem and likes to preserve its beauty, because you know what happens when there is over tourism happening. It affects the place, it changes the place, it changes the happiness and the authenticity of the place. So I think Malaysians want to preserve it as much as possible.
Makes sense, and it makes perfect sense. Now being here for 17 years, because I've come to the conclusion that this is how I want to roll it out, I'm also now thinking I should maybe reserve and spreading it too far and too much. But we'll see.
But you know, it's funny because I heard that the friends that live in Malaysia for longer period of time, and they admitted that they actually do not praise Malaysia to their friends because they're so scared that people will, you know, the basically fame will go and the chain and network effect, and then so many people will start coming in and will change their paradise.
So I agree with that, but I want to offer you something in addition to this. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. You've traveled the globe from Poland, you've traveled around different countries. And so have I. When you run into world travelers from the West, wherever you are in the world, there's a unique quality in all of them. And I think that quality is acceptance. Of course, I had clients come over here that just can't stand this place, right? They were some of the troublemakers in this country just as well. They'll never want to come back here. And so I believe, after 17 years, listen, Malaysia, when I first came to Malaysia, Malaysia was a country of it's not quite
still
there
forming.
yet, right? Singapore, clean, pristine, sterile. Thailand, gritty, whatever, what it is. Malaysia is that happy medium, and it attracts a certain mindset of individuals for those to stay. And so in terms of not attracting too many people to come, come, spend your money, enjoy, go back. And when you go back, maybe take a little piece of Malaysia with you to share and keep that happening. But I don't think that over tourism is going to affect this country, because some of the laws, some of the politics that we talked about before, I think they have the guardrails up.
Yeah, they'll protect it.
I think so. I mean, so far I've seen that. And I hope it continues, but I hope it doesn't turn into like what you suggested, like what I thought just as well, that more tourists will come and it diminish the brand of Malaysia.
Did Malaysia form any habits or the lifestyle elements in you that now you cannot imagine living without?
It's hard to answer this question without attaching it to the food.
Okay, here you can.
Okay.
The previous question had the exclusion.
So listen, whenever I go back home, and home for me is Joliet, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Langhorne, or used to be Atlanta. Anyway, when I go home and I spend any length of time at home, now I can only spend maximum 4 days. After 4 days, when I go back to the U.S., after 4 days, whoever I'm talking to that I haven't seen in years, I might make a comment. Oh, I miss home. So I'm missing home. Yeah. And they would say, yeah, you haven't been here for how many years? So, oh shit, I'm sorry. I was talking about Malaysia. Right?
So you officially call Malaysia your home?
So I lived in Malaysia for 17 years. I lived in my hometown where I grew up at for 18 years. So I left my hometown at
Even.
18 years old, and so all my adult life I lived here, and so it's hard this comparison. But it is without a doubt the food, because listen, I go back home. We have the meals. Home cooked meals are something different. We won't talk about that. But being out and about, the cost of the food, the quality of the food, super processed, all these negative things, and then the portion size. The portion size, they're ginormous. But after 1 or 2 days of being back home, I fall right back into that same routine where I'll finish the serving plates. They're like platter sizes here. So the whole food will come on a platter, which will be good for 3 or 4 people here in Malaysia. But that's just your one. That's your one plate.
I've noticed that.
And we don't do the sharing thing. That's something I just recently come across where I have to share. You know, we order what we want to have, what we want to enjoy. Where everyone else at the table, they order what they want to try, and if you order the same thing, they order something different because they know they can try.
Don't want to duplicate. Yeah,
they want to try on your plate. So that maybe now it doesn't. Maybe after 17 years, it now doesn't annoy me. But my wife, we're both foodies, but she does it obviously routinely, so I'm getting used to that.
Sharing.
You
still saying that sharing with some sort of negativity? I love it.
Oh, do you? Oh.
Yeah, but it's funny that in the West, I mean, now I think maybe it changed, or maybe the new generation approaches it differently when they start dining out. They want to try as many things as possible. But I remember growing up, it was very unclassy to go to the restaurant, and I'm not talking about some fancy restaurant, just a regular restaurant, and exchange the plates or take some food from someone else's plates. It was looked down on.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Yeah, and in Malaysia, it's just normal, but I love it. I embrace it the minute I saw this is possible. When you're living abroad for such a long period of time, you go through the transition, or what we could call identity crisis. Are you, as you said, you're calling Malaysia home without even realizing it? Do you feel still like an expat? Do you feel like a local? Is it a blend, and how do you navigate it?
Oh, okay. I am 100% proud to be an American. 100%. I've served my country for 24 years in the Air Force. Love that experience. In terms of where do I find home and where do I fit in better? I mean, I fit in this country a lot better than I do when I go back home. And I don't know why that is. I mean, I have an idea why that might be, but it might be my own blinders, my own ignorance. I go back home, and the communities that I go to, they don't travel, they don't go out, and they don't experience so much. So when I try to share different things with them, sometimes they can't relate fully. So because of that, they have a tendency to maybe hold things back. I have a tendency to share less, and so that does create this kind of funny dynamic, as opposed to I met you for the first time. We're work travelers. We have an instant connection. We have these pain points that we can experience. We can draw from
relate to,
and so we can share those things. And I've been doing it for. I mean, I left in 1989. I mean, you probably were born at that time, so
we're not revealing my age.
so I've been doing it for a long time, so I don't know anything different. I can tell you unequivocally, Malaysia, this is my home. I mean, whether you want me or not, this is where I am. This is where I am. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful way of describing the place that you live in, and how you speak about Malaysia so warmly and with so much respect. It's beautiful to hear, because we share a very similar sentiment. So what would you wish Americans and expats understood more about Malaysia?
Let me add something to that question, or maybe put it both ways.
Feel free to modify.
I wish that more Americans and more Malaysians would understand that our respective countries is almost nothing like what we see in the news. Whatever you hear that's being reported in our news cycles, it's I forget the name of the term, but it's salacious. It's that type of negative news unfortunately sells, and that's the only thing that sells, because there's so many beautiful things happening in my country. Those things you'll never hear about, and vice versa, because Malaysians are so reserved in terms of sharing what they're doing here, that the Americans are only slave to hearing whatever they're looking up on it, and it might be whatever coming across their algorithm. But oddly enough, people like yourself, content creators, who have a different eye, different point of view, come from different backgrounds. I'm seeing a lot of African Americans doing what you're doing around here and highlighting that in all of its positivity. Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing.
So now you're retired, you're starting projects and a podcast as well. Welcome to the Content Creators Club. So from what I can sense, you're staying in Malaysia. You're not going anywhere.
Yes.
Your beautiful wife is here. So what's next for you personally?
Well, I do tell people that I am doing content creating. I've got a podcast studio that we launched in Chinatown. It's called the Oracle Podcast Studio. But I launched it inside of our travel agency. I do run a travel agency, but the exciting thing that I got going on is my passion project, which is eyeballing, international balling. It's an international competition platform, and it's why
I really wanted to ask. So I didn't know if you came from some meeting. Your outfit doesn't look sportsy. I was really curious to ask about this bowl.
So
I'm glad it's a part of the story.
Yes. So people who know me know that The Rock is traveling around Malaysia. The Rock.
Okay.
This is the only signed autographed basketball by the San Antonio Spurs in Southeast Asia. And so I take this around when we're promoting the eyeballing brand, our latest product. So the eyeballing brand is my passion project. It's something I created, and it's an international competition platform. We have a campaign going on right now for our contestants. Imagine competing in basketball from anywhere in the world against anyone in the world. You could take your cell phone and you could say, "Hi, my name is Agata. I'm from Warsaw, Poland, but I ball in Kuala Lumpur." And then you can take these 10 shots. You post, tag, and follow Eyeballing Official, which is our social media, and just like that, you're in the global contest.
But it's only for basketball.
We've had a singing contest we've done before. I can't wait to get to the cooking contest. You're going to be perfect for that. Eyeballing is an
eating contest.
Yes.
I can definitely win. The cooking, not so sure.
When it comes down to it, the final 2 best scores, they'll compete live.
They do it live. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
So the best is to follow your profile, which I'm putting on the screen.
Yes.
And then to find out more about your next upcoming events
Yes,
and how people can get challenged with you.
Agata, I don't know if it's the right time now, but I want to give you something.
I love gifts.
Because I said last year, January 30th, I wrote my first book along with 9 other amazing authors. It went on to become an international bestseller in 7 countries.
Oh wow, congratulations.
And so I am now a first-time author, and because I was so excited to be on your program, I wanted to give you an autographed copy of my book. It's inspired by my mother, who is an artist and a poet. And she's recently went through a battle of cancer. She beat it last year. Going back, it came back, and we're in the next battle with it now. And so when I wrote, again, where I came from in my journey to putting these words on the paper, it's an amazing story where I didn't know how to read when I was in high school. That's a whole different another story. But I wanted to do something to just honor my mother and give back to her. The But I Did moment is inspired by a poem that she wrote.
Oh wow!
In 1979.
Is this here the poem?
Yes, the poem is called "But I Did." I dedicated my first chapter right to her.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A beautiful poem. If you are watching, all the best to you. Overcome the journey with battling the health issues, and congratulations on raising a wonderful, adventurous man. Come to visit Malaysia, and I hope to meet you then as well.